Hey everybody, an abbreviated, just quick opening NFL line report. I have not seen the line since the bloodbath that was Sunday. I brought on a new staff this year, and this morning they were all fired. Losing is going to be unacceptable in the NFL this year. College football, we're fine. The NFL is something I love to win at, and I hate to frickin' lose. And it was a crazy day yesterday. Half the Circus Survivor contestants are out. After week one, paid $1,000. Out after week one, there wasn't even a spread involved. That's how crazy Sunday was in the NFL. All kinds of ties, all kinds of crazy things, overtimes everywhere. Kickers couldn't get a lap dance in the Spearmint Rhino in Vegas with a fistful of hundreds. Crazy. Crazy day in the NFL. And I suffered it. But that being said, going to go lower volume, nail the books this week. I'm going to do it. I'm not listening to any outside influences anymore. And I did that this weekend, and it burnt my ass. It's not going to happen again. Not making excuses. I'm just coming up with solutions. That being said, tomorrow, Tuesday, podcast, Doug Upstone from Doc Sports. We'll go into these NFL games a little bit more in depth. We're going to run down the board in rapid fire succession, talk a little bit about college reactions, NFL reactions, and then just run through the board real quick for you tomorrow. A little more in depth than what I'm going to do right now, because I haven't seen these lines. But that podcast will be at 1 o'clock Central tomorrow, the Vegas Beat, with Tony George and Doug Upstone from Doc Sports, live on Twitter at 1 Central. And Facebook, live. When the show's done being live, it stays there on those profile pages. Twitter, at TGeorgeSports. Facebook, just type in Tony George Sports. I've got a group page over there. Tomorrow, I'll put up a notice on Twitter. So I haven't seen any of these lines, although I know what the Kansas City line is. Let me wet my whistle. We're going to run these down real quick and get you some opening reactions. And bear in mind, anything that I say on this is not handicapped and not thoroughly researched. It's an initial reaction. And sometimes your gut reaction is the best thing that you go with. But let's run them down. On Thursday night, it's a big game. Kansas City took care of business against Arizona. Mahomes had 5 touchdown passes. They did not miss Tyreek Hill. They have a running game, three players deep. Offensive line played extremely well for them. Their defense pretty much made Arizona look like a carnival act. The Chargers, on the other hand, had a knockdown drag out with the Raiders in a game where the Raiders turned the ball over so much, no wonder they lost, and they still were in it. And it's a short turnaround for the Chargers going into Kansas City. And by the way, I think Chargers have covered, don't quote me, I think it's 4 out of the last 5 in this series. 3.5 is the number, total 54.5. So basically what oddsmakers are telling you, because Arrowhead Stadium is worth 3 points. Home field advantage is worth 3 points. They're saying Kansas City's a half point better. I disagree with them. Miami catching 3.5, big win over New England. Not overly impressive, but they got a big win over New England. They're at the Ravens, 3.5. Total 44.5. These two teams went under the total combined last week by 31.5 points. Under 44.5 would be my lean. Jets plus 6.5 at Cleveland. Total on that's 40.5, and yet there's a 6.5 number. Wouldn't surprise me to see the Jets possibly cover that, but Cleveland in a teaser. Washington at Detroit. Detroit's laying 1.5, 49.5. Early lean there would be Detroit. Getting a 6-point win over Jacksonville at home is nothing to write home about. And Detroit, I'll give them this. They're not an overly talented team. They played a very, very good team. They played the team that's going to win the NFC East now for sure. with Dak Prescott going down. Not that makes a difference. I don't think Dallas is going to win it anyway. But one thing about Detroit, even dating back to last year, forget the hard knocks crap and all that. They'll give you a ball game for 4 quarters. They never throw in the towel. That coach has them playing hard for 4 quarters. Colts minus 4.5 at Jacksonville. Total 46.5. Wow. Tied the Texans. Texans are better than you think. Davis Mills, no joke quarterback. I haven't seen Jacksonville's number. Hang on a second. I want to see what and I haven't looked at these yet, so it's just me and you taking a piss over a fence post. Jacksonville gave up how much? Washington only ran the ball for 85 yards. They threw for 305. So, Colts are going to run the football with Taylor. As crazy as this last Sunday was, I can only take Jacksonville. Tampa Bay minus 2.5 at New Orleans. Total 44.5. Tom Brady. What can you say? You love him or you hate him. Deflategate, this, that, and the other. Cocky. All these other things. You don't like his demeanor. The guy is the GOAT. Just admit it and move on. Get past it. Unbelievable. Saints look just absolutely terrible. They needed a miracle to win. I'd lean Tampa Bay. Carolina getting 2.5 at the New York Giants. Giants gutted me yesterday big time as Tennessee crapped all the way down their leg and then wiped it off and crapped down the other leg in the 4th quarter and gave a game away. That's too close to call. That's too close to call. That's too close to call. I don't see any value in that. 42.5. I don't even see any value in that. New England at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, very costly win. I'd take New England there. Pittsburgh got the ball 5 times they shouldn't have got. Burrow is a human turnover machine. There were 5 turnovers in that game. They still needed overtime to beat them on the last second. The kicker in that game for them, Boswell, hit. I mean, you saw it. If you didn't see it, you heard about it. I don't see Belichick losing 2 in a row out of the gate. Trubisky didn't kill him, but he really didn't help me either. I'd lean New England. Atlanta getting 10.5 at the Rams. Rams extra time to prepare. Atlanta grabbed defeat from the jaws of victory. Mariota didn't look half that bad. I'm not getting involved in any game with double digits in the NFL. Not going to do it. I can only look at the underdog there. Seattle getting 8.5 at San Francisco's laying 8.5. Give me Seattle. I don't even care what happened. I'm taping this before Monday Night Football. I'm taping this Monday afternoon at 3:15 Vegas time. What do you do? Trey Lance is not ready for the NFL. I don't care if you were playing in a monsoon and the field was a rice paddy or not. Trey Lance isn't ready for the NFL. They got a problem there, quarterback. Jimmy G's better. Jimmy G is better. And if they're without Kittle, for sure take Seattle. Seattle in the teaser, too. Get them up to 14.5. Tease them with Cincinnati against Dallas. Cincinnati's on the road at Dallas, laying 6.5, total 43.5. Dallas is done. You see everybody in their division and the points they scored, everybody 20 or more, 23 or more, whatever it was. Dallas, 3. That was at home. Now Prescott's out. Cooper Rush, that's it. You ought to be calling up San Francisco, getting Jimmy G down there. Prescott can't stay healthy. They can't block. They can't call plays. They can't stop anybody. Cincinnati played the most horrible game ever. They're going to be hungry. They are the AFC champions last I checked. Dallas can't get out of first gear. I'd put Cincinnati in a teaser with Seattle. Houston plus 10.5 at Denver, total 43.5. Denver hasn't played yet, but I'd lean Houston. Arizona catching 5.5 at Las Vegas, total 51.5. I'd take the over. Chicago at Green Bay. Green Bay laying 9.5. There's another teaser for you. Get Green Bay down to 3.5. Remember last year, first of all, Chicago won in a fluke game. Second of all, Green Bay played the team. Minnesota Vikings are going to win that division this year. Green Bay just has a period of adjustment. Rodgers hardly played in the preseason, if at all. I don't even recall. Remember last year, Green Bay went out and just got their ass kicked the first game of the season. I mean, to the point where it was like embarrassing and one of the worst losses they ever had, and came back and just started kicking the piss out of people after that. That's a wake-up call. I'm not going to lay 9.5 with them, but I'll tease them. I'll tease them down to 3.5 and stick them with somebody. Why don't you stick them with Minnesota on Monday night? They're catching 1.5 right now with Philadelphia. Get them up to 7.5. They're probably going to win that game outright. FYI. Tennessee at Buffalo. Is this 2 Monday night games? It's got to be Sunday. Anyway, Tennessee, Buffalo. Here is a classic example of an overreaction. Now, I believe Tennessee beat Buffalo last year. Here is a classic overreaction. The Titans get beat. Bear in mind, the Titans were in it till the very end last year. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC going in the playoffs. They crapped down their leg in the worst possible moment. Missed a field goal with time running out to win the game. I think it was inside the 40. And now they're a 9.5 point underdog to Buffalo because Buffalo looked like a world beater on Thursday to open up the season. I can only lean Tennessee. And Monday Night Football, as I mentioned here, Philadelphia, Minnesota, 1.5. Philly at home, 52.5. Now, Philly's probably going to win that division. Dallas is done. Maybe Dallas and Washington, depending on when they get Prescott back. Maybe they can contend for third place in that division with Washington. Philly's going to run with it, but Philly's defense in the second half of that game leaves a little bit of concern. Offensively, they lit them up, for 38? On the road. Minnesota's the real deal. I could only lean them out of the gate. Those are just initial reactions, initial thoughts. These are the first time that I've seen these lines. Sorry for the sweat. My air conditioner broke down in my house today, and it's about 90 degrees in this room. So, I'm playing at a disadvantage, but I'm here for you guys. But nonetheless, Doc Sports, free $60, link in the description below. Get over to the website and visit us. We got Major League Baseball. We got prop bets going all week as well, WNBA, and looking forward to putting out all of our football picks after a winning week in college and a down week in the NFL, which we're making. Wholesale changes have been made. I'm tackling this bad boy by myself. I've seen 2, maybe 3 picks I'm going to make here with a teaser, and I'm going to be done for the week. I'm not going to overthink it, because that's what happened last week, and it ain't going to happen again. Not going to be any outside influences. Let's get it done this week. Be sure to tune in to the podcast, The Vegas Beat, tomorrow, 1 o'clock Central on Twitter, at TGeorgeSports. Facebook, type in Tony George Sports. Doug Upstone and I will take a little bit longer look at some of these games and maybe pick a few out to go a little bit more in depth. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great Monday.